Well, it's not at all surprising, sadly, that when you get a group of people together in America, somebody opens fire. You know, I call it the United States of guns. In fact, in dark humor, I joked on Monday when there was a picture of Travis Kelce hugging and kissing Taylor Swift. I said, well, there it is. I mean, that's the most American thing. Super Bowl, NFL, star, hugging Taylor Swift, huge recording star. The only thing that would make it more American is if she were hugging him with an assault rifle. Here they are, next couple of days, putting the parade together for the Chiefs. Everybody's there to celebrate, and what happens? Someone opens fire. Albert, run a little bit of the piece, if you will. This will give you a sense of what it was like.
It was nearing the end of the Chiefs' victory parade. Hundreds of thousands had gathered in downtown Kansas City to cheer on the team, when suddenly phones capture the gunshots in the crowd just outside of Union Station.
And we just heard this big, loud bang, and everyone was just told to get down on the ground and get close. So I grabbed my son and we got close to the fence.
Police swarmed the area near the old train station, taking 2 men into custody, while this video shows spectators tackling a third man as he tries to get away through the crowd. Paul Contreras was one of those Good Samaritans.
I heard somebody yelling to stop this guy, tackle him. He got close to me. I got the right angle on him, and I hit him from behind. And when I hit him from behind, I either jarred the gun out of his hand or out of his sleeve.
Sadly, one person was killed during the shooting. She's been identified as Lisa Lopez Galvan, a mother of 2. Her son was also hurt but is okay. 2 of her nieces are still hospitalized. And they are just some of the 24 others wounded or hurt during this gunfire, many of them children.
We have had 12 patients that we have treated, 11 of which are children with 9 gunshot wounds. None of those patients, all of those patients we expect to have a full recovery.
At least 2 adults, though, remain in critical condition tonight. And while no motive for the shooting has been announced, it may be the result of a dispute between armed attendees in the huge crowd. KC's mayor saying what many Americans are feeling tonight.
Parades, rallies, schools, movies, it seems like almost nothing is safe.
And Mayor Lucas says that 800 uniformed police officers were there at that celebration today, but that just didn't deter at least one shooter from opening fire.
Yeah, what is missing from that report, it was a great report, it gave you a sense of what happened, is some context. Context that's associated with gun laws, right? The fact is that Missouri's gun laws just are almost non-existent. And so that's how you end up with everybody having a gun. You can't get together that many people in one place and not expect that there are a ton of people who are armed. And so one of the most disturbing comments I heard was from a mother. She was with her daughter, as I recall, and she said this. She said, well, and she said it so nonchalantly. She said it, well, you know, you get this many people together, you got to figure that there might be a shooting. And then,
No.
I mean, that was it. It wasn't like...
It's not acceptable.
It wasn't said in an
normal.
alarming way.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
At what point do we just start going, oh, okay, well, this is normal, so got to expect it. You know, look at all these people.
It was the 16th anniversary of the mass shooting at Northern Illinois University. It was the 6th anniversary of the mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. It's just, on Valentine's Day, America's love affair with guns. And you know what? The reality is that Americans don't have the love affair with, no questions asked, gun ownership. Americans want questions asked. Americans want background checks. Americans want a real registry of gun owners. But politicians who purport to represent those Americans, they're the ones in bed with some cultural devotion to this machismo, maybe with guns, and of course with the gun lobby, which does shower a lot of these politicians. Josh Hawley among them. He's a senator from Missouri with campaign cash. Look, it's the same speech, making it day after day. Just happens to be a little higher profile because it happened at this Kansas City Chiefs parade. But just brutal. Absolutely brutal.
What I hear from that mother's statement is that we're going from outrage to now acceptance.
I think that's a good way to
I have a big problem with that. I have a big problem with acceptance. I mean, if the minute we start accepting this as just the way it is in America, is the moment that any possibility of change goes out the window. I mean, we have to at least try to fight to make things normal so that we can go to the movies or to our places of worship if we have one, or wherever it may be, and not worry that someone's going to open fire. This is not normal. Outrage should stay.
In August, Missouri Governor Mike Parson chastised the mayors of Kansas City and St. Louis, the state's largest cities, for proposing 2 new gun safety laws. The first would prohibit the purchase of bullets by those who are 18 and younger without parental consent. And the second proposed law would have banned switches. They convert pistols into fully automatic handguns. They can empty an entire magazine with one pull of the trigger. Okay, so there were laws that were being proposed to stop that. That's the kind of weapon that could easily be concealed in a large crowd, a weapon that had been switched, in effect, that converted. It's a pistol, converts to an automatic weapon. So you can just put it in your, it's easy to hide. But the legislature didn't follow through. And it's worse than that. There was an effort to bar the cops from enforcing gun laws in Missouri. The U.S. Supreme Court had to step in and say it was unconstitutional to bar the police from being able to enforce the gun laws there. When you look at weak gun laws and murder rates in states, there's a direct correlation. I mean, this is like climate change to me. It's the correlative is so strong. You don't, but we sit here and we pretend, well, it's a mental health thing. I get it. Mental health enters into all of these things, acts of violence and acts of carnage of this sort. But when guns are everywhere, those people who are having a mental health break, they grab a gun. It's depressing. And as Kim says, the fact that there's a nonchalance about it now, and the fact that we just understand that's the danger baked into America, it's despicable. William Lundgren, how can you effectively counter millions and millions of guns circulating in the U.S.? Well, you effectively counter it with gun laws. That's how. I mean, small e on effective. I don't think you're effectively countering it, but you're doing something. This is third world stuff, not USA. What the hell? Never ending, says Julie. So the fact that you have about 43,000 Americans died by the bullet in 2023, says B.A. Ware. 37,000 from COVID perspective. I mean, so people dying at the hands of a gun outpaced COVID deaths. Didn't know that. Thank you for that. Sadly, this doesn't surprise anyone, says Mario. This is the new normal in the United States. Politicians prefer the money that the NRA gives them. Yeah, and there's another point, and that is that the NRA doesn't even have much money anymore. That's why I was making the point about the cultural machismo or the cultural notion that guns are Americana. You have legislators wearing those assault rifle pins on their lapels. I mean, that isn't just for money. That's for those who are so wedded to this extreme interpretation of the Second Amendment that they're currying favor with them. They're currying favor with that electorate. The lady Beatrice says, this is a super chat. Thank you for that. We want background checks. I would like mandatory mental health evaluations. I feel like the people in charge stand to benefit from the NRA, so they do crap to protect the rest of us. They do crap to protect the rest of us. I get it. I'm sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah, in other words, they don't do They don't do crap to protect us. You're right, of course. But as I say, they're beholden both to the NRA money or to lobby money associated with the gun lobby. And also to, I'd suggest, and this is more disturbing to me, the cultural cornerstone that's associated with gun ownership. And again, I personally have no problem with you owning a gun. I just want it in your house. I don't want you to leave the house with it. Now, you may be, Mark, I'm a responsible gun owner. I get it. We can have that whole conversation. But I just am saying, in terms of my kids' safety, I don't want them to go to Disneyland, to parades, to celebrations, to concerts, to movies, to shopping malls, and have to worry about everybody being strapped or whatever the hell the jargon is for people having guns. The lady Beatrice says, we need mental health checks. It's not enough for someone to have a clear record, nor should it be. Yeah, you can have the background checks and you have a clear record, and obviously you can still come unglued. But give me churches, synagogues, parades, schools with no guns. You've got 6-year-olds coming in with dad's gun. I mean, come on, man. This country has lost its way on guns. But you know what? We're going to have the same conversation again soon. Sad. Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.